Welcome back. Earlier we showed you highlights from the Summer Sizzler 100 at Motordrome Speedway. Before that super late model race, there was plenty of action to keep the fans wanting more. The evening started with a 15-lapper for the Super Compacts. A couple of laps into the race, we have a couple of drivers charging from deep in the field. The 05 of Paul Koffler Jr., who started 19th, and Gene Zerfoss in the 23, who began the race in the 18th position. Up front, the 11 of Steven Sheltman is door-to-door with Chris Knight in the 78 for the lead. They ran this way for most of the race. Knight started 15th, while Sheltman began the race in the 13th spot. On the last lap, Knight pulls a nice crossover move to get around Sheltman's number 11 car. Going into turn 3, Sheltman closes the gap, but Knight holds on for his first career victory. Zerfoss, Koffler, and Bill Schwartz round out the top 5. Now onto the Charger feature, where on the second lap, 4 drivers are fighting for the 3rd position. You know where this is going, right? Chris Spadacine in the 43 ends up losing the battle, while Ed McConnell in the 48 goes for a spin. Back under green, Denny Keller in the yellow 13 takes the lead away from Tracy Keller in the number 1. After a late race restart, Zane Farrell in the 14 edges past Keller for the lead. Going through turns 3 and 4, everything seems relatively tame as they come down to take the white flag. Down the front stretch, Farrell squeezes down on Keller, although Keller holds on to the lead through 1 and 2. With half of a lap to go, Farrell looks to the inside of the 13. There's contact, sending both cars spinning. Ron Eifert III races past the melee on his way to picking up his 4th victory of the season. Here's Ron and Clan in victory lane. And here's your top 5, with Al Minjock finishing 2nd, followed by Tracy Keller, Ed McConnell, and John Scott. In the very early stages of the street stock race, Dustin Blank in the 94 has the lead, while the 34 of Aaron Minjock races Andrew Kostelnik for 2nd place. Kostelnik falls back, where Tom Knight Sr. charges to his inside to take the 3rd spot. On lap 4, Minjock works the low side to move into 1st place over Blank. On lap 5, Sean Phillips gets into Kostelnik as they run through 3 and 4. Kostelnik retired from the event. One driver working his way through the field was last year's Super Compact champion and recent high school graduate Matt Sever in the 83. Here he races Dink Colarusso for 4th place. A lap later, Blank runs high in turn 2. Sever and Colarusso continue their battle as they move under Blank. They run out of room, with Blank suffering the most. On lap 14, Sever gets by Scotty Aiello to move up to the runner-up position. We move forward to the last lap, where Sever has the lead and Phillips is trying to take it away. In turn 4, Phillips dives under Sever, and it's a drag race to the checkers, with Sever prevailing by a couple of feet. Matt, congratulations. You did a great job working yourself up through the field.
Thank you very much. It's kind of crazy starting in the back. It's a whole different feel from up front, because in the front you kind of have what you need. You know, you can pick your lane and run, but when you get back in the pack, you're pretty much stuck with what you got, and sometimes you got to put yourself in situations you don't really like, but you know, hopefully it just works out in the end.
Well, I'll give you credit. For a young guy like yourself, you showed a lot of patience.
Thank you very much. I think that's something you got to learn as you go, and I think I'm trying to get used to it more and more, especially, like I'm saying, starting deeper in the pack, you have to let things sort out. I mean, you can't go, you know, if they're 2 by 2 by 2, you can't really do anything. You kind of got to let it sort itself out, and like I'm saying, a lot of times you can get in trouble back there, especially putting yourself in places you don't want, but hopefully it works out in the end. So we've been trying. It's been luck.
Now, you won the Super Compact Championship last year. Are you surprised by the success you've had this season?
Actually, yeah. I mean, you know, considering the jump we've made, and even when we first bought this car, I didn't really think that much about it. And then once we got it to the track and started playing with the adjustments and your tires and all that stuff, and it's just a world of difference from what I was used to. And not only driving it, but like I'm saying, setting them up, and between them two things, it's just been a world of difference. And I am surprised, because for the jump we've made, we have adapted rather well, and I'm proud of everyone who helps us out. We've all stepped up, I think. You know, driving, I think I've learned a lot of learning curve, and everyone who's helped us out setting it up and working on it, and just things we've never had to do before we are now. So, but we've been good. We've been lucky.
Behind a Sever Phillips finish was Colarusso in 3rd, Aiello in 4th, and 5th went to Minjock. And in the modifieds, Billy Rebar led the field to the green with J.P. Weiser to his outside. They are neck and neck entering turn 1, but Rebar begins to pull away slightly for the lead. With 5 laps in the books, the top 4 are single file, while Chris Brink in the 3 works the outside of Pat Hanley for the 5th spot. Bobby Shipp in the 0-4 is not far behind. Late in the race, Rebar has about a 4-car length lead over Weiser. Brink is now racing Adam Kostelnik for 3rd place. Kostelnik bobbles in turn 2 and loses a few positions. On the last lap, Brink has moved past Weiser for 2nd and sets his sights on Rebar. Brink looks high, but falls in behind Rebar in a tight finish among the top 5. For Rebar, it was his first career victory. Congratulations, Billy. And here's a quick look at the top 5 in the modified event. Told you there were some exciting finishes. And speaking of finishes, we will wrap things up when Pit Pass returns.